Hi friend, I'm Pat Sloan and we are keeping it stylish for our summer soiree, and that is the whole part about our block, the style that you have. Your style, actually, what are you going to wear to your summer soiree? Here is the block. Ta-da! I had so much fun with this one. I'm going to give you a few pointers on what I did here in a second for color and how I went about approaching that to work with the other blocks that we have for summer soiree. Now, I'm looking through the book for Reese Witherspoon's Whiskey in a Teacup, and each week I'm just taking one of the pieces of it and reading it. It doesn't necessarily go with the pattern name. So this week I looked at the chapter that is on equestrian transferware. She talks about how in the South the theme of the equestrian theme with the horses and the Kentucky Derby and just all of those things are just seem to be everywhere. Hunt scenes, I'm in Virginia and hunt scenes are really popular here. Popular, I think, in the Northeast in general, from the colonial days. That's just sort of a very traditional thing. So I want to show you something that is something our family has. Years and years ago, my mother-in-law gave me a few pieces of this set of English china. This particular set was given to her by her mother-in-law, and I think my mother-in-law didn't care for it. And so she decided that, we had a new home. I mean, this was given to me 35 years ago. Like we have this new home in Virginia and this would just look perfect in our home. So, and I do love it. It's very pretty. You can see on the cup here. Well, here's I'll show you in the bowl. Look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that pretty? Yes, Madge, my mother-in-law, loved a lot more modern things. She was that kind of a person. She really was not into traditional things too much. Okay, so your styling, which means what will you wear to your party so that people can find you. Like I find that you want to find the host. So wearing something a little sparkly, a little bright, a little memorable will let them pinpoint you and spot you at the party. That's always a good thing. So let's take a look at the block. Before picking the fabric for the next block of summer soiree, I wanted to really see what colors were being used in the other blocks. So let's take a look at that process. Last time I was mentioning that I really need to have more red. So for the what will you wear block, I definitely am going to have more red. Then I wanted to see, well, how many of these actually have black? There's going to be 12 blocks. So I've got one with black, 2 with black, and 3 with black. And then this one also has enough little bit of red in it for a pop. There's light blues, a lot of light blues. So I decided that this time I would go for more of the red, black, and little pops of green. That way I can get that red in there, and I will have at least 3 blocks with, well, I'll probably end up with more, but I want to do an odd number of blocks with red. 3, 5, so probably be either 5, maybe 5 of the blocks. So here we go. Now I'm going to use one of the prints for the background, and we'll just zoom in now, take a little closer look, get that on the edge so we can see it. So this background will be one of these two. One is a little bolder, this one, because the pattern shapes are a bit bigger. And then I have this one. They both have the red and green. There are a couple other ones that I could have picked with red and green, but those are the ones I stayed with. Now I pulled out the greens, the reds, and I'm going to use this black for the little sort of bow ties, the fancy dress. See, like the bow ties in the corners. So I definitely want to get that pop of red. So I'm going to put the bigger print of red in the middle, which means I really don't see like right off the way to where I'm going to use that one. So we'll push him to the side. Now I'm thinking if I've got red in the middle, then I can go green on the outside and then black in the corner, and then I could do, well, let me put this like here. So here you can see. So there would be sort of the coloration with that bigger print where you have the center, the side. Oop, let me pull this up. There we go. So you've got the center of the red, the side, the bow tie, and then the background. So there really are not that many fabrics. Now what's going to happen is this is going to look quite green, this block. If I put this here, that's a lot of green. So I think I'm going to switch this out. I'm going to put green in the middle. I'm going to put red here. And then I think I'll switch this to the smaller sort of scale piece, which has the pops of red. So now what's going to happen is this whole outer rim will be really the strong red, and this has a little bit of red on the inside. Now I could change it up if I wanted to pull some blue in here. How would that work? I don't think so. Let's not even go there, because the blue just adds another color. So we're just going to get it into what would be a little bit more like this block in colorway. Now I could put that in the middle again, but I already put it in the middle once. So I think I'll switch it out and put the green in there. But you see how this star looks really red? Whereas if I had that star point as green, there you can see it. Do you see how now that block, if I put that star point as green and had red in the center, it is going to look like a green block. And that's really what would happen with this one if I put green out here, because that's a bigger unit. So that means I'm going to sew it up and see how it looks. For doing the half square triangles, I'm going to take off the regular piecing foot, this one, and that's 1/4 inch seam foot, and I will put on the open toe foot, because then I can see the line really well. And I'm going to go over on my Baby Lock Solaris, and I will put on the guide beam, push it on. I have 2 lasers, and I want green, and I know that it works best for me if I move it over. So I can just leave that panel up there, it doesn't matter. And then now I have the guide beams, and those can also change. I can do like the length of them, if you see them expand, going down longer. So I can do that. I can make them shorter. There's all kinds of other grid work you can put down. But I just need the basics. And of course, I need to put the foot on. So there we go. Now we're ready. You could also just drop that and it would go. So I will start sewing, and I have the center line will go point to point. So that is going to come all the way down to here. So I want to have the middle down to there because I'm sewing on either side of the center for 2 triangles at a time. So there's how the guide beam works. And I've got the line sewn. See, probably see it. You can see it on the back a little bit better. So I have 2 tools that I like to use for the half square triangles. One is the thread cutter. This is the thread cutter that I got recently, I don't know, last year sometime, and I love it because you put a used blade in there. That is a used rotary cutter blade, and then you can just pull the flower out and rotate it to the 5 different spots between the blades that you can cut. So if one part is dull, you can move it, and this is a way to reuse those blades for a while, and they last forever, seriously, forever. So let me show you up close. So you can't get your finger in there. It's, you know, really well designed. So you just take it and go across the top and get them all cut apart. And then I like to use the ruler, this Quilt in a Day ruler for half square triangles to trim them. So I will cut down the center, you know, point to point. And then these are 2.5 inch squares. And so there is, and I have done this a bunch of times, but I thought, oh, it's so fun to show you. Since I have to do it anyways, I put the 2.5 inch line on the seam. It's right on the seam. And then I trim either side away. Oops. Trim the sides away. And then I can rotate it, put the 2.5 inch on there again, and cut off the points. So cute, look. Look how cute they are. Little bow ties. I just want to do a whole quilt of these. Just these. So there you go. We're going to add some style to our block, to our quilt with this block today for block number 5. Now you could, if you wanted, even use a different fabric in here. You know, that would give you another fabric choice if you wanted, but I was keeping it simple. So also here in Studio Sloan, I did get a lot of work done on those blue blocks from Home Is. The first block, I got almost the entire top sewn together with the sashings. I will give you a little peek around. So it is over on the design wall, so you can see up. So I've got it, those are the top layers are pinned lower, and I basically have the top sewn, I have a middle section that's underneath and the bottom. So I have 2 long seams to do to put that guy together. And voila! Oh, I also have to put I'm going to put a little white outer border, just a small one, probably about 2 inches like the sashing is. And it is magically done. All right, so I'm so excited to see your blocks. Visit Quilt Along with Pat Sloan over at Facebook, which is a public group that anybody can go to. So for those of you who are not Facebook members, you can click the link below and you can come on over. Remember, there is a bonus layout if you want to do multiples of this block. So I have a drop setting here in part of the pattern. I was just holding it like this. That looks pretty cool too. Look at that. I might have to start another quilt. All right, my friend. I love you. Mwah. Keep it stylish. See you online.